We caught up with Eric Metaxas while he was hosting his radio show.
It's kind of scary to me, the power that Facebook has.
With his new book, Donald Drains the Swamp, proudly displayed beside his microphone. It's a tale about a character called Donald the Caveman, based on a true story. So Eric.
Yes.
Dietrich Bonhoeffer, Martin Luther.
Yeah.
Donald the Caveman.
Yes.
It's quite a progression.
Thank you. It's not a progression. It's either a regression or nothing at all. It's kind of a funny thing. I'm very eclectic. I've always been that way.
He's not kidding. The conservative Christian has written critically acclaimed biographies, more than 30 children's books, even scripts for the popular cartoon VeggieTales. And his latest book is a mashup of political humor, serious lessons about liberty, and the good things Metaxas sees happening in America under this president.
This presidency, there's something about it. He has a folk hero quality. It's like an American folk hero. Who is this guy?
Do you see this as a children's book, or do you see it as a, it's good for everybody to read?
When I wrote this book originally, I was really thinking of a humor book for adults. A humor book about Donald the Caveman. He drains the swamp. And there's a lot of political humor in here that's specifically for adults. Kids aren't going to get it. But if you do it just right, you do it in a way that doesn't exclude kids. You do it in a way that's sweet and innocent. This book is not nasty, it's not mean, it's meant to be lighthearted and fun.
Well, speaking of some of the adult humor in the book, there's a Georgosaurus.
The Georgosaurus, that's just a joke. We had no idea that there's a Hungarian billionaire Satan worshiper named George Soros, so make of it what you will.
There's also a blue bird that flits through the book. And as you know, birds like to tweet, so, make of it what you will. Why is it following Donald around? Well, that you can figure that out.
And, to be fair, there's also a turtle in here who looks a lot like the Senate Majority Leader.
Well, to be really fair, and this is not a knock on turtles, but all turtles somehow end up looking like the Senate Majority Leader. It's not their fault. It's not his fault. It's just a quirk of nature.
So why did he portray the president as a caveman?
Sometimes we think he's a little bit of a caveman, this president, but he's our caveman. He's working for us. That's the key. He's working for us.
Well, I think the power of the Trump presidency is in its simplicity. The fact that he's driven so much by his gut, his boldness,
right.
That I think is portrayed here.
But that's exactly right. That's part of the issue of the caveman, right? The caveman is not self-conscious. He just does what he has to do. He clubs the animal, he eats it. There's something funny about that this president is so motivated by his gut, his instincts, that it is almost funny. You don't think of him he's the antithesis of Obama. Obama was paralyzed by overthinking things. It was kind of a Hamlet-like paralysis. He was unable to do anything, and you thought, is he even in the White House? Is Daddy home? What is going on? Do we have a president? This president, you sort of feel just the opposite.
Metaxas is on a mission to make Americans think. Along with his best-selling books, here in New York City, he hosts a lecture series called Socrates in the City, where he and his guests tackle big issues like God, science, and culture. He understands why some voters, particularly Christians, may have to hold their noses when it comes to some of Trump's tactics.
Oh, listen, you have to understand, voting for Trump is not necessarily a vote for Trump. It's a vote for the people he's going to affect. God holds us accountable. He doesn't say, well, if you don't like this or you don't like the way he combs his hair, don't vote for him. If you don't vote for the person you think is going to do the best job, they may not be perfect, but the other person's going to get in. And I think that Christians, sometimes we feel like, well, I'm going to be really holy and I'm not going to get my hands dirty. I think God calls us to get our hands dirty. We're living in such divided times. We need to laugh. We need to be able to celebrate the good things that are happening. So that's why I wrote the book.
And this isn't Donald the Caveman's only adventure. Look for Donald Builds the Wall, even Donald Goes to Space, coming soon. He hopes this latest book winds up under lots of Christmas trees this year, so more Americans better understand the importance of draining the swamp. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, New York City.